everybody, welcome back to the Fin Factor. I'm Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
And this is episode number 193. Aaron, let's address the elephant in the room real quick. Yes, we're back in the floating boxes. However, the set update that I want to give you guys really fast is that if not for some LED lighting technical difficulty, which should tell you right there how much effort is being placed into the set here, that if not for that, we essentially would have been able to do today's show on set. So once we get that, oh, there you go. Dumb must apparently it's your fault, Aaron. I don't know how or why, but there you go. Yeah. So super producer Jason said, you know what? I'm not doing this halfway. If the LEDs aren't working the way that we want them to, then we're not doing it. So you know what? I can respect that. He wants to give you the best product humanly possible, not a half put together type of product. So we're going to see you guys on set when it is 100% right. However, I'm thinking it could very well be the next show. This we said this before, but this really ought to be the last one. Yeah, he says we got the set moved where we will assemble it. It's in the exact spot that it would be. It's just not screwed together, if you will, tightened together.
It's not together
because the LEDs need to be in place for everything to be fastened in together. What's that, Aaron? What were you gonna say?
I'd say it's all there. It's all built. Everything is built, but it's not put together where it's complete. Final resting place, if you will. So yeah, should be done by then.
I mean, just absolutely freaking embarrassing.
I mean, honestly, compared to the rendering that we have, it's like almost spot on to the rendering. It looks really, really nice. So if you were watching one of our previous shows where we showed you the rendering of what the set would look like, then it's pretty much almost exactly that. I am super excited. I cannot wait. But as super producer Jason said, yes, if it's not perfect, then we're not going to shove it upon you people. So there you go. Okay. Quite the standard we've got going here, huh? For our little podcast / web series, huh, Aaron?
Yeah, no kidding. High standards. Very high standards.
Well, let's jump into actually, before we jump into the games, of course, the thing I always ask you guys to do right at the top of the show, if you're watching us right now, please get us out to your Sharks friends and family. Hit that retweet, repost, share, whatever it is on whatever platform you're watching on. Let them know about that we're here and that we're ready to have some fun conversations. That's how we're going tonight, apparently. So have some fun conversations with you guys in the chat. And yeah, so if you can get them in here, it's a lot more fun when we've got more folks kind of bouncing some thoughts and ideas and comments off of each other. So there you go. That would be very much appreciated. Obviously, of course, if you feel like you're going to enjoy the show, which of course you will, you can go ahead and support us with Super Chat function. You can also go through Venmo at The Fin Factor, or you can visit thefinfactor.com and check out any of the merch that we have for sale there. I just heard, by the way, Aaron, that fanny packs are out of stock. They've run out.
Really?
We have sold all our fanny packs.
Sold out of the fanny packs. That was probably the last thing I thought would sell out.
Me too. But I'll take it. So if you bought a fanny pack, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And rock that sucker on your hip for all it's worth. Anyway, Aaron, last episode, I've got this thing going with the whole Paul Stradamus. I'm not proud of it. Okay. I'm not proud of it. And I'm not saying that I know what I'm talking about, but sometimes I'll accidentally get something right. All right. This is one of those times. I did say that of the games this week, the Sharks were probably going to end up winning against Winnipeg. Why? Just because. And you know what, Aaron? I'm almost tired of guessing on this now because I hit it again. And now people expect that I can see the future, and I can't, people. I'm sorry to disappoint you. However, the Sharks do take a 2-1 win against Winnipeg. I don't know what to say about it, Aaron. Why don't you go ahead, kick us off a little bit on this game? I see you've got a tweet here as well, but some stuff about Justin Bailey. Go ahead.
Well, Justin Bailey scores his first goal, and it's a long time coming for him. He was on a list that you don't want to be on, where you have the most games in between goals for NHL players. So here's a tweet from Darren Stevens. About the goal. Justin Bailey scored his first goal since March 10th, 2018, a span of 5 years, 277 days. The longest drought ended by any player while with the San Jose Sharks. The previous record was Jim Kite, ended a drought of 5 years, 149 days.
Wow.
So he beat him by 28 days. That is not a record that you would be happy to be a part of. So good on Justin Bailey. I think he's looked great with the Sharks. I think I don't understand how this guy was not playing in the NHL. So one of those guys that just seemed to slip through the cracks with other teams and came to the Sharks and is performing and doing well, and looks like a very type of player that Mike Greer wants for the Sharks, a hardworking player, a big body who can out-muscle a lot of people, out-hustle a lot of people, and do all the little things that will create, I don't know how to explain it, the energy and the culture that he wants that team to be. So we may not be the most skilled team, especially this year, but we should be able to outwork and out-hustle a lot of other teams. So he fits that to a T. Good to see him get rewarded with a goal, and you could just see the excitement in his face when he scored too. I don't know if you saw it, but he was just the relief and the joy all mixed together in one. So it was so great to see. So happy for him.
Absolutely. And I love that they used the word relief, because that was the word that I was going to choose for that. It was the biggest scream of relief from a player, obviously, since was it Jim Kite? I think it was the first name was Jim. Long time in between NHL goals. Glad to see him getting back into the fold. Glad to see him getting the opportunity with the San Jose Sharks. Because again, as you said, this is the type of player that Mike Greer wants. And this is the type of player that's going to get that shot, get that opportunity. He did. He grabbed it by the horns, and good for him getting that first goal as a Shark. Hopefully the first of at least a handful this season. We'll see how it goes. But I got to say, the way he's been playing, I could care less if he's putting the puck in the net. He's doing all the small things that you want from a guy who is, the second six type player. He's out there with that engine going. Again, you know how I am. I love the Nico Sturms, the Mario Ferraros, and the Justin Baileys of the San Jose Sharks. These are the guys that just simply will not give up on you. And that type of attitude, that effort certainly permeates throughout the lineup, throughout the bench. So very happy with Justin Bailey. Very happy for Justin Bailey. However, someone I'm not entirely happy with right now, Nick, says Paul's a witch. I identify as a warlock, Nick. So there you go, buddy. But again, Aaron, we've been singing his praises since he's been on the San Jose Sharks team. Obviously, he did really well with San Jose Barracuda. Again, just happy to have him getting that opportunity. So Kellen here saying he was the only dude on the ice that was actually bodying up. Well, he says boating, but bodying up Rantanen on Saturday. Yeah. Maybe he was the only guy that could keep up with Rantanen. I don't know. But yeah, that's the type of thing, again, that you want to see from these guys. They don't back down from the superstars. They get in their face. They make it hard for them to play. And it wastes their opportunity on the ice while giving your guys a rest, getting the mismatch, if you will, in any way that you can. In this case, I think the Sharks' top line against the Colorado second line is probably more even. So helping the first line stay away from our first line. So there you go. Aaron, Eklund. You have Granlund to Eklund with a beauty 1T. Yeah, vision from Granlund on this one.
This is you see this one too, the one timer. I think it was on was it on the power play? It was a power play goal, right? I'm mixing up the games here. So this was with 5 minutes and change left in the game, less than 5 minutes. Kind of the opposite Ovechkin office, where he's setting up for the one-timer in that half in the face-off circle area. Kind of gets some space, comes off the wall, and they look for him, and he just rips it, man. He is such a snipe. And this was something that they wanted him to work on for the last 2 years, really, since he became a Shark, because he was more of a pass-first playmaking kind of player. And he has a very good shot, a very deadly shot, especially on the one-timer. So a lot of his power play points, not just goals, but assists from rebounds, are coming from this one-timer. So, in fact, in the Colorado game, it was the exact same play. The goalie stopped it, but I think it was Hurdle that picked up the rebound and scored. So this is going to be, looks to be, at least for this season, a staple on the power play, maybe going forward in the future for future years, depending on what other kind of players or shooters come in for the Sharks between now and then. But man, that was a beaut, man. He ripped that thing real quick on the one-timer and beat the goalie before he could even get across. So I'm looking forward to Eklund's kind of mastering that skill, if you will, and becoming a very deadly player on the power play.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, I've always talked about Eklund in his vision, right? His puck protection, his stick handling. He's a very good playmaker. Seeing him uncork this bottle and just, I mean, the one timer was just such a great shot. I've also seen him kind of mix it up a little bit. He's a little feisty. I didn't realize, how much he doesn't mind kind of getting in and using his body, not just to protect pucks, but to separate guys from pucks. He's like I said, feisty, this one here. So I'm kind of wondering, is there anything this guy doesn't do? I mean, I'm super happy with the Sharks picking him up when they did. Again, this is a guy, I think he pretty much does everything. I mean, he's a playmaker, he's a goal scorer, he protects the puck well, as I said, and he doesn't mind kind of getting the rough stuff and mixing it up a little bit. This is an everything player for the Sharks, and certainly a guy that hopefully stays with the Sharks very long term. But I mean, anything else you want to say about Eklund before we move on here?
No, he's growing and becoming that player that should have been drafted higher than 7th overall. So good to see him getting some, not just playing time in the NHL, but starting to thrive at the NHL level and really belong and really becoming a potential star. I wouldn't say all-star just yet, but at least, working towards that and getting his everyday stuff in and becoming a better player. This is what we said in the beginning of the season, how to watch the Sharks, because it's going to be a difficult year, is watching the progression of Eklund get better and better throughout the season. He already is a better player to me than he was a month ago, 2 months ago when they started. So fun to watch.
Loving watching this guy play. It's a treat every single time. And I have to say, another guy who last episode, maybe I might have said a little something about him that wasn't very flattering. Clearly, Mackenzie Blackwood, fan of the show, Aaron, I'm just going to say it right now. He heard me pumping up Kaapo Kähkönen last episode. He says, no. 36 of 37 shots saved. Only lets one of them in here. Fantastic effort that night for Mackenzie Blackwood. Certainly wanting to shut me up after, of course, listening to the Fin Factor. Aaron, how important has Blackwood been to this season so far for this team, even when they were 0-11 essentially, right? Even back then, he was really standing on his head, making all kinds of saves. The team has kind of figured themselves out just a little bit, and when he's on point, this team is winning.
Hey, he's so far the MVP. I think every month he's been the MVP so far. And as sad as it is to say, the Sharks would be in a much worse position if he were not on the team or not performing as the way he is performing. Almost every night he's giving them a chance to win. And a lot of the goals that are being scored on him, especially, I mean, if you look at the Colorado game, the last one, he couldn't really do much on a lot of them. So he's still making, I feel like in every game, there's one or two saves where it makes your eyes pop and go, wow, I'm not used to seeing a Sharks goalie make those kinds of saves. And now it's becoming the norm for him. So good to see. And another player that I'm excited to watch and kind of, I don't know if rehabilitate is the correct word or the term, but a reclamation project, once again, coming into the San Jose Sharks and shining. Him and I would say Granlund is probably the other one where everyone thought he was washed up and that the Sharks were really dumb for taking on his contract from the Penguins. And he is by and large the second most valuable player offensively, I'd say, behind Hurdle. So Granlund has really been shining a lot lately, going on a huge run and putting a lot of points together. So he's looking great this season as well.
Absolutely. The Sharks then go on and play against the Arizona Coyotes. This is a 1-0 loss. Again, this was one of those controversial games, man. Some of the Sharks fans were pretty upset about this one. I have to say, I understand. I'm not saying I agree, but I understand. So in this one, 2 goals got disallowed from the San Jose Sharks. Cunnin with a goalie interference call on what would have been a William Eklund goal. Now, he kind of cuts through the crease as the goaltender is using his stick and poking out, almost initiating the contact, right? Having said that, Cunnin is skating through the paint. So that's where I think a lot of Sharks fans were kind of going, well, wait a minute. He's initiating contact. He even gets knocked closer to where the puck is. So, I mean, how could you say he gets knocked out of position? He got knocked into position. So I think some fans were a little upset about that one. Did you have a certain take on this Cunnin goal? Because I have something else to say about the next thing. But did you have a certain take on the Cunnin goal? Did you like the call? Did you disagree with the call?
The way I look at it is reversing it, right? So if that were Blackwood poking it out and a skater comes through and hits it and then they score, would you be upset if they called it a goal, or would you expect it to be goalie interference? That's the best way I can put it into, I don't know, words on if I feel like they got, on a fair call against them. So they could go either way. Goalie interference is one of the weirdest and hardest calls to make, not just as a referee, but as you're watching and going, oh, that's goalie interference. I guess it wasn't. Or that's not goalie interference. That should be a goal. Oh, I guess it was goalie interference. It's such a coin flip that I can't really get upset about it. I mean, it sucks, but at the same time, like, you got to find ways to win. You got to find other ways to score. So sure. Could have gone either way. I wasn't too upset about it.
Peter St. John saying he didn't see Cunnin go through the paint. He thought he saw daylight between Cunnin and the crease. Yeah, apparently the referees disagreed with you on that one because they did end up calling that one back. The other one they ended up calling back was as simple as Anthony Duclair being offside on what ended up being the Granlund goal that called back. So Duclair is in the zone. The puck is in the zone. The puck is getting out of the zone. It gets stopped by a Sharks player who then starts skating it in, and Duclair is apparently not hustling to get back onside in enough time. So I almost want to stop here and kind of skip ahead because there was a repercussion to this, but we'll come back to it if you'd like. In the Sharks Colorado game, it's this offside that causes Duclair to be healthy scratched. So the lack of hustle to get back onside was the reason that Duclair did not play the next game in Colorado. Now, Quinn also said that there was other areas for him to improve on, but let's get real. When something like that happens, and Quinn even said, look, the whole bench saw it, everybody saw it. So you can't have that. You can't have a player showing that little amount of effort and allowing that to be seen by the bench, and everybody thinks that that's okay. I got to make a move here, and the move is you're not going to play. And honestly, for me, Aaron, I love this move. I love that they told Anthony Duclair, sorry, you're sitting for this next game. We're going to scratch you. And I think it's McDonald. McDonald gets back into the fold now. He only gets back in there for a handful of minutes, or maybe even a minute. But regardless, I like that there's some accountability, I guess is the word I'm searching for here, that there's some accountability for you hustling. Now, if I remember correctly, what I had thought about Duclair at the beginning of the season was that maybe there was some chatter about how he had some issues with the effort, right? And when I could see him play, I did feel like, man, there are times where I just see him kind of coasting a little bit more than I would have liked. I'd like to see a little bit more hustle out of him. And this is that instance where it bit him and it caused him to not be able to play in the next game. So just kind of want to throw it out there. Give me your take on Duclair. Do you like that he got sat for him basically not hustling?
I don't want to hear about freaking fragile, okay?
I thought we were going to get the absolutely freaking embarrassing on the lack of effort, but whatever.
I mean,
well, Shang, if I knew that answer, then I wouldn't have. We would have started off better.
I think I agree with you. Like, I don't care if it's Duclair, if it's Hurdle, if it's whoever. You're not showing effort like that. that sends a huge message to the rest of the team. Like, oh, if Duclair can get benched, who's probably their second or third leading goal scorer right now, anyone could get benched. So Kevin LeBanc, watch out. You need to keep that effort level up. But yes, I don't. It's just a punching bag I just picked. I don't mind this.
Put Kevin LeBanc on notice.
I mean, it's not like the Sharks are in the hunt right now and are chasing a playoff spot. So benching Duclair, yeah, it's going to hurt the team, but it sends a larger message for the bigger picture than it does for the next game against Colorado.
Well, like I said, McDonald gets back in the lineup, and he gets a 5-minute major with a game misconduct to start the period.
And he guessed on
Aaron, you've got in here that it should have been a minor. Now, again, I think this is one of those instances where you have to put yourself in the shoes of the other team's fan base. Would you still stand by that statement, given the change of perspective, shall we say?
Yes, because the fact that he checks on him right away. It's not like it was a dirty play where he's not hovering over him and talking smack to him. There was no malicious intent. It wasn't like a playoff game where the emotions are high and everyone's trying to hurt each other and everything. It's not the play. That's not what happened. So, and he doesn't really have a history of doing that either. So, reversing the roles, like I said earlier, I would not have been upset if it was a 2-minute instead of maybe a 4-minute, not a major though, like a major for elbowing. Now I understand why they do it. They do the major so that they can review it. Because if they called it a minor, they can't go back and say it's a major. There's no chance for them to review it. It's safer for the referees to call it a major, go to the video and be able to watch it, slow it down and analyze it more and go, okay, this should have been a minor instead of a major. Now, do I disagree that it was a major and it should have been a minor? No, like I understand they stand by that, but the fact that there was no suspension after the fact shows that there was definitely no malicious intent. So it sucks that it was a 5-minute penalty. I think it could have gone either way, 5-minute or 2-minute.
Well, there may not have been malicious intent, but Scott K woke up and chose violence today. He says, LeBanc still plays for us? I never hear his name. But, honestly, again, let's go back to some of these other comments here. Peter St. John, yeah, when I see guys not moving their feet, it's tough to stomach. Kellen Foster, GMMG, General Manager Mike Greer, for those who don't know the acronym, is preaching this, rewarding people for hard work and disciplining guys that aren't performing. Grandizer, thank you, Paul. Yes, I thought Duclair play is sort of lazy. Seems, I think, to make a lot of errors. So I think, other folks are kind of seeing the same thing. And again, Sean looks like he's kind of on the same boat as Scott here. I did notice that Duclair served the goalie delay of game. I was expecting to see LeBanc in the Arizona game. Man, living up to your last name there, Sean Savage. There you go. Yeah, so, it's I saw the play and I agree with you, Aaron. It's not one of those things where, he hits the guy and he just acts like, oh, nothing. Because you see this happen all the time. Okay, a guy will have an elbow or he'll hit a guy in the numbers and he'll just keep playing, right? In this case, as soon as McDonald got the hit on him, he kind of hit the brakes, went, ooh, and he kind of leaned over like, dude, you good? There again, no malicious intent there, I don't think at all. However, you're still responsible for your elbows. You're still responsible for the play and the safety of other players. And I can understand that they would call it this way. Did he need the game? I don't know that he needed the game. I would agree with the 5-minute major, and I agree with you that it makes more sense for them to just call it a major because then they can review it and always roll it back, right? So I don't really even have a problem with that they stuck with it being a 5. But I think the game might have been a little unnecessary. So that's kind of my take.
Very early on in the game too.
Yeah,
man, that's not that should have anything to do with making a decision on a call, but that really just puts that team behind right away.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like this is one of those instances where if he didn't get the game, this is where you might see the game start to police itself, right? And This is where guys who go out and drop the gloves, this is the purpose of that right here, right? You hurt my guy, you got to answer the bell, and then everything's cool. But they never even got a chance to do that. They just sent him on his way. So I think for those of you wondering about fighting in the game and why it's still there, this would be one of those instances. If he didn't get kicked out of the game, I guarantee you, and no ill will, it's just, hey man, you hurt my guy. We got to tango. That's just all there is to it. And he'd be like, yeah, no problem. Let's do it. But again, for me, I think when some people question what role fighting has in the game still, this is definitely one of those times where it's a self-policing thing. You were shaking your head a little bit there, or no? Did I see that wrong?
No, what's funny is he was going to hit him in the back and jumped out of the way to not hit him in the back, hit him the numbers into the wall for boarding, and he ends up taking an elbow and getting kicked out. It almost would have been better for him to just board him and not board him full strength, get a penalty 2 minutes for boarding rather than 5 minutes in a game for elbowing. I mean, he wasn't trying to elbow. I even forgot who the player was, but he kind of toe pick. They said he put his head forward because he kind of tripped himself when he hit the boards. That's why his head got in the place when his elbow came in. So it was just unfortunate set of events. So many different ways that could have gone. He could have just not hit him and skated away, or like skated, I don't know, not slam into the boards as hard as he did and not throw his elbow out. I mean, he's putting his elbow out to brace himself against the wall. It wasn't to hit him. He wasn't even trying to hit him. He was trying to avoid him so he didn't board him and take a penalty, and then he ends up getting kicked out of the game. So it just sucks, man. It just sucked. But again, they get one goal scored on him on that one power play.
Right. They only got one goal scored on that 5-minute power play. Yes. Now on the night, Colorado did get 2 power play goals. You cannot take penalties against the Colorado Avalanche. There's way too much firepower, especially that first unit. That first unit is essentially an all-star team. So yes, to the fact that Colorado only got 2 power play goals, I think they only had 3 chances though, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, the 5-minute major is huge, but I think after that there was only 2 other penalties. So for the Sharks to only give up 2 power play goals, actually not such a bad thing. But again, you cannot give Colorado that opportunity. They will make you pay for it every single time, especially if you're a team that's kind of bottom feeding right now, as the San Jose Sharks pretty much are. Only Chicago Blackhawks are lower in the standings currently. But yeah, so again, a 6-2 loss against Colorado. Not at all surprising though, right, Aaron? I mean, again, I thought maybe the Sharks could win against Winnipeg and then Arizona. Okay, sure. But Colorado, there was no way in either of our minds, I think.
Winning in Colorado is hard with the altitude change. It's rough to go in there, especially if you go down early. Like, forget it. You're not going to be able to catch up. You're not going to be able to get your legs nearly as quickly or as much as Colorado would if they were behind. So, yeah, actually, both teams were 2 for 4 on the power play in that game. So they both went 50%. Great for the Sharks. They're both the only 2 goals that they got were on the power play.
Yeah, I was going to say it's great for the Sharks that the power play started clicking and they got that opportunity, but 5-on-5 they did nothing else, right? So you could see it both ways. Now I like that you said that they didn't have their legs under them because of the altitude or whatever else, right? Well, this is the first game as a Shark for Jack Studnicka. Is it Studnicka? I want to say
Studnicka. I don't know.
For Jack.
Right.
Call him Jack.
I got Jack.
There you go. Now, the reason I say not having the legs, as you had mentioned, was because he admitted himself after the game that he just didn't have his legs under him. But it sounds like this could be actually a pretty decent pickup, and there's a specific reason maybe that they went after him. Now, he was placed on waivers back in, I think, November, and the Sharks did not pick him up. And the reason for that was that they have 49 contracts already. So then that we have 50 contracts. They give no wiggle room in terms of making trades and signing a guy here or there. So that was the reason behind them not just picking him up off of waivers. Apparently he might have been on their radar even since then. But the details of the trade that brought him in were that Nick Cicek from the San Jose Barracuda and a 6th round pick in the 2024 draft went to Vancouver, and we got Jack. Last name I can't pronounce. I think it's Studnicka. So there you go.
I think the original trade was probably the draft pick for Studnicka, but then it was a contract issue. Too many contracts on the Sharks. So they want to keep one free so they can make trades later. Most teams don't like to have 50 for 50 contracts. So I bet they went to the Vancouver Canucks and said, what position player do you need that we can throw in for the contract? Oh, yeah, we'll take a right-handed shot defenseman,
Check.
Cechek. That's a tongue twister. That would be more of my feeling rather than like, oh, let's trade this player and throw in the pick. I think it was a pick for Studnicka, and we need to get rid of a contract. So pick who you want. Here's the list of guys. That'd be my guess. So to me, it was a good trade because they're upgrading a undrafted free agent pickup to a former second round pick from 2017, which is not that old. He's still pretty young. And he is, of course, was a part of the Boston Bruins program. So a lot of ties there between Studnicka. There we go. Thank you, Kellen. A lot of ties to both Greer and Quinn from being in that organization. So I'm sure they're very stoked to have him on the team. And they probably were targeting him. They're probably like, okay, looks like he kind of got buried when he was with Boston because originally got drafted by Boston and their depth was just too much. So he never got up the depth chart. Got to Vancouver and same kind of issue. He just got buried in the system, and the Sharks luckily have terrible depth. So he's able to come in here. And one thing I wanted to note was, and I didn't realize this at the time, he has a one-way contract, not a two-way contract. So when he was in the minors, yeah, I guess they could have waited for him to get called up and then take him on waivers. But at that point, the Sharks were no longer at the bottom of the standings, so Chicago could have taken him, right?
So now we're looking at this thinking, okay, is this maybe like a depth move? But no, I mean, if you take a look, the Sharks have had some centerman injury. Obviously, Logan Couture being the biggest one. He's been out pretty much all season, and I believe someone in the chat had said that there was an update on him. He's out indefinitely for the season. Maybe more on that in just a second. But Sturm is still out. Carpenter is still out. So this is a guy that comes in and can play as a depth centerman and not have to have Zadina playing at center, right? Any of those other guys that are wingers that are just trying to fill in because they don't have another center that they can use right now. So for them to bring Studnicka, as Kellen Foster says, for them to bring him in, it's actually a pretty low cost, low risk move to potentially just get a little bit of time as a center position for one of these guys to maybe come back in after they get healthy. But I think it's not such a bad thing. You give up a sixth, and again, an AHL defenseman who, let's get real, but he's very replaceable, right? So again, I like this move. I have one thing about this trade and pretty much a lot of the other picks and trades and stuff. Why is there's so many ties to Boston? I get that Mike Greer has ties to Boston, but why isn't everything we're doing seems like it's got some sort of Boston tie?
I don't know. It's kind of weird. Don't forget it is an old boys club, right? Old boys gentleman club, right?
Aaron, am I your only friend though? Am I your only friend?
You deal with people That's what it is.
Good
Lord. I mean, wasn't Quinn was the coach, Boston University coach, I believe, BU coach. He coached Jack Eichel when he was in college there. So he's got big ties to the whole Boston area. So anyone that's come up and through the Boston area, they're going to know who Quinn is, and Quinn's going to know who they are. And then Greer is from Boston. I believe he was born around that area and grew up there. So he's got ties there, probably has a lot of family and friends still there. So he's very well networked and connected there. This could be just a coincidence. Who knows? But whatever.
So earlier I had said that someone in the chat had mentioned that Logan was out indefinitely. Now, that's not me reporting anything. I'm just saying someone in the chat had mentioned that. It was Scott K. Now, Scott is saying that Logan is skating, but it's only a soft rehab and that he is done. Now, some of the other folks in the chat, however, are saying, calling him out a little bit here. Gonna need a source on that, Couture News, not finding anything. No, leave Logan in IR so we get the first overall, says Malachi Nunez. Kellen Foster, Couture was skating. It was on the Brody Show. Yes, absolutely. He's been out there skating around a bit. Now, I don't know if I'm leaning one way or the other, but I do know this. I have a theory, and it has to do with this trade. We're actually Studnicka is part of us bulking up for playoffs, for our playoff run, Aaron. It's happening. Okay. You laugh, but you know what? You know what else? You know what else, Aaron? Couture, he's doing the same thing Kucherov did. He's waiting until we make playoffs, and then he's jumping in. I'm telling you, it's happening. It's Studnicka. See, I thought it was Studnicka too. I don't know about the ch at the end there. You, Nick HBK, and who is it? Who said the other one now? Kellen. I think Kellen was. Kellen. Yeah, you guys can duke it out in the chat there. You guys can. I don't know. I think I'm with Nick on this one. So anyway, Aaron, obviously being a little facetious here, but gosh, wouldn't that be hilarious if Logan Couture was ready to go come playoffs and we actually squeaked in? Yeah, look at Sean saying plan the parade route.
It's like the worst case scenario that could happen this season is to make playoffs and just get blown out in the first round.
You know what?
A waste.
I don't even care. Here's my scenario. Okay, my scenario is either I want you to be the absolute worst team that you can possibly be, okay, or I want you to at least squeak into playoffs, because if you make it to the dance, you got yourself a chance. Okay, even if we end up getting bounced in the first round, if you have the opportunity to make playoffs and you do make playoffs, I'm okay. I'm good. Whatever happens after that, I'm fine. But if you're not going to make playoffs, you need to be at the absolute bottom basement. Like I said, through the bedrock, Aaron, you got to be as bad as you possibly can be, which, by the way, takes us into our roll call. So where are you guys watching us from? And if you recall, by the way, Aaron, we had said that 68 points, I think. Who said 68 points was going to be the basement?
Well, I think last year they ended with 67.
No, the Sharks ended up with 60.
60 last year?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
so
the model, I think when they first started the season, the model was 67 points. That's what they would get.
Okay.
The projection from the Athletic was 67 points.
So,
and I said they would get 68 or more.
Okay.
So I said the over. I said they would be over the 67.
You said over. I said under because I was looking at these other numbers, and I'll get there in a second. But for the roll call question, where are you watching from? Is 68 points going to be the NHL basement? And will that team be the Sharks? Obviously, that team in the basement being the Sharks. So please put it in the chat. Let us know what you guys think as we talk a little bit about this. And then we'll jump back and take a look at all the comments that you guys have there.
Can you imagine if this was the year the San Jose Sharks miraculously just won the cup? This ragtag team compared to all the other rosters that they've had put together in the last 15 years. This is the team. No Pavelski, no Thornton, no Marlowe, no Nabokov, no anybody, none of those superstar players. Like, come on. Who would you get? Oh, that'd be embarrassing. It'd be embarrassing. I mean, Hurdle could be great for Hurdle and Couture, but that would be brutal, man.
So yeah, this is we're just checking in right now with how we feel about this whole 68 point thing. Okay.
Sorry.
I remember saying that it's got to be lower because, again, if we take a look at last season, okay, Montreal had 68 points, and that was fifth worst. Then underneath that was San Jose at 60, Chicago 59, Columbus 59, Anaheim 58. Now remember those names: Montreal, San Jose, Chicago, Columbus, Anaheim. Super producer Jason, can you please put up the graphic from I think it was the Athletic, put up these season projections for this season? If you could do that now.
These are updated, by the way.
This is updated. Yeah, that's for this season. What I just read off was last season, the way that it ended.
Right.
So for this season, and it's pretty small, but if I could blow that up just a little bit, look at the teams at the bottom. Montreal at 74, Anaheim 70, Columbus at 68, San Jose 60 points, and the Chicago Blackhawks at a lowly 56 points. Aaron, those 5 teams at the bottom are the exact same 5 teams that were at the bottom 5 last season at season's end. So they're projecting the same 5 teams to be at the bottom. Wow. First of all, a question for you. Why has none of these teams done any better from last season? They're all in the same rebuild window, That's a little odd. Okay.
Chicago
go ahead.
did a fire sale last year. Just got rid of everybody. So that's where they wanted to be. So that's no surprise. Columbus has a million injuries. They can never stay healthy. And their goaltender, who they thought was going to be the future, is not the future in Merzlikins. So I think Columbus and Chicago are worse than the San Jose Sharks are right now. Anaheim is coming out of the rebuild, like the actual bottom of the rebuild, and starting to get better. They have a lot of better players. But again, Zegras is hurt and still not back in the lineup. So that's part of it. They're just kind of a very young team still putting things together. So, but they're on their way up versus, to me, Chicago and Columbus are still going down. And Montreal just, they can't put it together, and they're a very large market team that will do anything in their power to get just a little bit better, and they're just not doing it. So they're kind of a smaller team still too. They have no size to them. The Sharks, to me, I still think they're better than Chicago and Columbus, and I think they will end up better in the standings by the end of the season than those two. That's why I'm tempering my expectations that they're going to be dead last this year. I'm saying top 5 worst, bottom 5 worst. I don't know how you say that. Worst, top 5 pick. They'll have a top 5 pick in the draft again. I don't think they'll be number 1. I don't think they'll have the number 1 odds either.
Oh, okay, but I mean, again, if we look at those projections, I'm not asking you to put it back up, by the way, Super Juice, but if we look at those projections, it was 68 points was Columbus Blue Jackets, and they were 3rd worst. And the projection is stating that the San Jose Sharks are going to have 60 points only, so even less than 68, and they weren't even going to be the bottom team.
These projections are taking into account what's been done in the last 2 months. Now, the Sharks had a horrendous first month, a much better second half of that first beginning part of the season. Not quite, maybe the last 4 or 5 weeks they've been playing way better hockey. So to me, they're going to do much better than the 60 points that they're projected. I'm more confident that they'll hit the over of the 68 than I was a month ago. I'll say that.
Okay. Would you say that 68 is low enough for the last place team then? Or do you think the last place team is going to be much lower than 68?
Lower than 68.
So the last place team will be lower than 68.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify your thoughts on that one. But let's kind of go through and take a look at some of the, I think Super Producer Jason probably already posted a lot of these up while we were talking about it, but I'll go ahead and read them out because the folks on the podcast didn't get to read these. So Nick says the basement will be lower. Sharks will be there once we trade some players. See, that's the other thing is we got to remember that we're going to be, we're potentially going to be worse. I don't know. Like, again, like I said, if this team all of a sudden goes on a bit of a run and you're the GM, do you go, you know what? I kind of have to reward you guys. I mean, we're right. If we're right up against, like, if we're right on the precipice of being a, last wild card team, are you telling me that he still goes and sells, or do you think he tries to reward these guys? I don't know.
No, they're not going to be.
You don't think so?
They're not going to be that close. No.
I'm saying in a fantasy world, Aaron, where they're right there. I don't think they're going to be right there either. But
you don't like fantasy hockey, Paul.
Fair enough. All right, let me find where I was here because I clicked around a little bit.
Just absolutely freaking embarrassing.
Scott says that the San Jose will hit 70 points. He thinks Logan's finished for the year. And then, of course, again, choosing balance today, Scott. The set will be coming soon if I build it and ship it from Toronto. Dude, it's in place. It's literally sitting in the same spot. It's going here in the beginning. We just need to tighten some screws and get the LEDs working. By the way, if anyone saw San Jose is good with the soldering for LEDs, maybe you can hit up Super Producer Jason after the show because he's got a little bit of work for you, or at least maybe pick your brain. So he thinks 68 might. Oh, Sean Savage says 68 might be the basement. I don't know. Sharks will be over. You're agreeing with Aaron on this one, then? Okay. Maybe Chicago gets gifted the bottom spot and another first overall. I don't even know if they need to be gifted it. They're pretty bad so far this season. I would have thought Connor Bedard would help them in the standings a little bit more than he has. But again, rookie guy coming in. What? You're shaking your head. What?
Oh, is hockey not a team sport here? Like one guy is
Absolutely.
not going to do it. Look at McDavid in Edmonton. One guy is not going to do it. So they need
Two
to
guys.
surround him with much better talent, and he does not have it right now. Not
Peter
to
St.
mention the
John
whole.
is offering financial advice here. He says, place your bet in Vegas right now. You could get great odds on winning the cup, make a fortune, retire, and just do the fin factor. Yeah, absolutely. We could. There you go. Let's see. No, he's talking about something else. Keith says it'd be great if the Sharks won the cup. Well, of course it would be. I just don't think it's at all plausible that that would happen. And Malachi, yeah, we talked a little bit earlier about that we don't have guys that are natural centers playing at center in that second six, if you will. Again, that was part of the reason Studnicka or Studnicka, however you want to say it, bringing him in actually did make some sense. It wasn't just kind of like a depth thing. So Alex saying he has no idea what the Sharks will be at 70. So there you go. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are saying it's going to be 70, 68, 69, somewhere in there. So yeah, okay. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest. I still think that there's Peter St. John calling you out. Aaron, are you suggesting a market correction?
Absolutely. It's already happening.
All right, there you go. We need more losing streaks. Yes, Malachi, I agree. Mikey J, Aaron and Paul, what up, colleagues? Oh yeah, hey man, how you doing? We're just sitting here doing what we do, just talking Sharks, having fun, enjoying the comments from you guys. And for that roll call, I do want to say, hey, thanks guys so much for giving us all those little bits of pieces to talk about there. A lot of fun with you guys. Appreciate that. Okay, Aaron, we have a little bit of former Shark news. Former Shark Aaron Dell getting a PTO with the Carolina Hurricanes.
See, Carolina waived their Antti Ranta, their goalie. They waived him and sent him down to the minors, which is a big deal. It was one of their two 1A and 1B starters. The other one being Anderson, who has blood clots, I believe. So he's been out for the last month and will be out for another month. And he's had same kind of health issues over the years. So Carolina, a team that was a cup favorite going into the season, and they are not doing so well with in the standings. They're in the mid. They should be higher than what they are. They're 35 points and sitting at 14th overall in the entire league. A team that has some aging veterans, and they're going to want to do something big. So Aaron Dell getting a professional tryout, good for him. Now, if Carolina is desperate for a goalie, I think I know a team that might have one. In fact, there was some rumors going around. I think I posted this the other day. It was kind of weird that oh man, I don't have it in front of me. There was a tweet because Saturday night or Sunday, maybe it was yesterday. John Gibson of the Anaheim Ducks was pulled, and was it Ronta was waived? I think that was what it was. Or oh man, I'm butchering this. Hold on, I can look it up real quick.
It's absolutely.
Here it is. All right. Gibson got pulled. Oh, it was New Jersey. Is Vitek Vanacek was scratched for precautionary reasons. So and they're like, oh, maybe the trade got worked because I think they were playing each other that night. And Gibson, it wasn't like they were losing that bad or anything. It was like a close game, and they pulled him out, and then Vanacek was out for a precautionary reason. So it was like, New Jersey's another team that needs goalie help, which is hilarious because they traded away Blackwood, who is, I think, by far a much better goalie than the other two that are there right now, Vanacek and Schmid. So two teams on the East Coast looking for goaltending help. And I feel like there's some good goaltenders out there that are on the trade block. Another one is Vejmelka. I don't know. The goalie that's in Phoenix or Arizona.
I think
Coyotes?
It is pronounced Vejmelka.
They call him Vegemite or Veggie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another one that's been on the trade block or rumors that he could be moved to another team. So Gibson, him, and then of course you're going to have Kakinen and Blackwood in the mix. More Blackwood than Kakinen. For one, Blackwood's, I think, having a much better season. Even though their numbers are pretty close, but he is a cheaper option than Kakinen, which is odd, and a much team friendlier contract. So who knows? Maybe we'll see some trade action well before the trade deadline, and that would be more of a bigger trade, I think, than what we just had this week.
Well, as I said before, obviously Mackenzie Blackwood is a fan of the show, so I'm not going to say anything bad about him here. But Capo did have a pretty good string of games recently. So I think if I'm a team and I'm looking to get a 1B or whatever it is that I need, and I'm looking at San Jose as a team that's willing to sell, I don't think I can really go wrong with either option right now as that second guy. Right. I don't think either one of them is a bad option at all. I think they both had a pretty spectacular season so far. Obviously, they've had some games where a lot of pucks went in, but when you see them playing on their game, they are very good. And you have to remember, these are two guys that are playing with the San Jose Sharks in front of them, not with a cup contending team with solid defensive players, guys that are going to possess the puck in the offensive zone away from their net. Right. So these guys, I think on a good team could certainly help solidify that cup run, or at least getting that team solidified for playoffs and ready to go. So, I think any team that's looking for a solid goaltender can't really go wrong with either one of these guys. Hopefully something good happens for them now. But one thing I wanted to say about Aaron Dell before we move on from this, though, I was in the Facebook group, and I never should be. It's just toxic in there, but whatever. Anyway, so I was in there, right? And of course, it's Aaron Dell, and everybody, Aaron Dell from the movie Frozen. So some people were just calling him Frozen, right? And I got a little upset. I'm like, guys, can we stop with these puns? I wish you would just let it go. Come on, man. That's good, right? Nothing?
No.
Nothing? Really?
No, it's not good. No.
Absolutely freaking embarrassing.
Remember what Kevin Kurz used to do? Whenever Dell was starting, he'd be like, "You're getting Adele and net."
Yeah, you're getting Adele. I remember the dude you're getting
Adele.
Yeah. That's a commercial probably for us and not many other people.
Yeah,
so,
the younger generation didn't understand it.
I was thinking, what are you talking about? Okay, anyway, upcoming games, Aaron. Let's take a look at these. 2 of these in a row are going to be ESPN Plus only. So I guess if you're Hulu subscriber and you've got that, then there you go. You can go ahead and watch it there. Now, these ones, the ESPN Plus games are the ones that will not have Randy and Drew. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So if you cannot stand Randy and Drew, wrong way. If you cannot stand not hearing Randy and Drew or whoever's with Randy at the time, the best thing that you can do is mute the TV and go on the Sharks audio network and pick up Dan Ruzanowski and his call of the game with whoever is doing color with him that night. And then you can just listen to that whilst you watch the ESPN Plus version. Did I just say whilst? I didn't mean to do that. Wow. Anyway, Tuesday against the LA Kings. This is at home. Again, Thursday against the Arizona Coyotes at home. Both of those games, again, the ESPN Plus games, both those games at home. Aaron, the only other one here for this week is Saturday at Vancouver. Now, before we talk about these, I just want to remind everybody that the next show that we do is on Tuesday. So, Aaron, are we actually missing a game, maybe Sunday, Monday, or that Tuesday that maybe we should add in here, or do they not have anything going on for after Saturday?
My friend, what is next Monday?
I know. Okay, Christmas and all that, but I don't know because I'm not looking in front of it right now. So
I mean, just absolutely freaking embarrassing.
The whole NHL shuts down from the 23rd to the 25th.
Solid. That's all I had to do. Say nope. There's nothing. That's it.
There's even a trade freeze. Nobody's allowed to get traded during those days,
which I like. That's respectful. I like that. So there you go. Well, it's good. Christmas is a scheduled live. Thank you, super producer Jason. Okay, so Tuesday, LA Kings. Aaron, the Kings are doing pretty good this season. So are we expecting this one to go down the same way that Colorado went down?
Even as good as the Kings are, I feel like the Sharks really put up a good fight against them, even in the last couple seasons. So there's still some animosity there. Maybe not as much as there used to be 5 years ago, 10 years ago, but it's still kind of there. So I think it'll be a good game. The Sharks and it's it's not that far for them. They don't have to travel that far, and they're I don't know. I feel like they get up for those games, so it'll be nice to see that one. They'll be playing hard in that one, I guess you could say. I don't want to say they're going to beat them, but I don't want to say they don't have a chance either. I feel like they could take the Kings.
Yeah, Paul Stradamus is not trying to throw his hat into the ring on this one. I'll tell you that right now. That's a little too. As much as I hate the chrome dome, the silver buckets, I cannot stand those things.
I will say,
what's that?
The Kings' home record is only 5-5-3, and they're 12-1-1 on the road. So they're a much better road team than they are at home.
Oof.
So there's a good chance the Sharks could win this game.
This is going to be one of those weeks where Paul Stradamus does not make any predictions, I can tell you right now. However, I did want to say that there is someone in the chat here who, wise beyond his years, clearly. Zephyr 530 says, I appreciated the joke. Well, Zephyr, thank you so much. I appreciate that, that my efforts don't go unappreciated. Obviously, what? Yeah, it's,
Your head just got bigger.
Hey, man, when the people let you know that you're doing a good job, sometimes you just got to let the people know that you appreciate them. Okay. So no, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
All right. Thursday versus Arizona Coyotes. Aaron and Jason will be there. This is the ugly sweater jersey giveaway. I don't know why they call it the ugly sweater jersey giveaway. It's just holiday sweater. It's a good looking thing, I think. Don't you?
Yeah, it's everyone wears an ugly sweater. They just call it an ugly sweater, even though it's not ugly. I was wearing one today, my Metallica one. It was beautiful. I call it my beautiful sweater, not my ugly sweater.
Nice. So actually, we'll end up having these on the show for you next time we do the show, which again, hopefully will be from a completed set, so long as we can figure out soldering. And if that's the case, we'll display them there. But either way, we'll have them. Oh, you done messed up. Okay, there you go. Well, either way, we'll have the jerseys to show you guys, which will be after the fact anyway, so you won't be able to get it. But at least you'll know what you missed out on. Please don't be that guy who's watching us and going, man, I should have gone to the game. Please check them out. Go to the Thursday game. Meet up with Aaron and Jason. Don't buy Aaron popcorn. He already said he doesn't want popcorn. He gets it stuck in his teeth. But meet up and shake his hand, whatever else. Get one of these jerseys. The jerseys are always awesome, Aaron. I love these things. Every single one that they've made, from Los Tiburones to these ugly sweater ones, to the one that I missed out on with the Warriors mashup. They've all been phenomenal. And again, like as you said previous, this team has done so many giveaways this season, more than any other one. So really, again, guys, jump in on this. Get this thing. It's awesome. I've seen them. I love them. Aaron, anything to add about these jerseys?
No, I'm excited to get my hands on it. And I think we'll have an extra one, at least, maybe two, that we could possibly give away next. Oh, here's a rendering of it.
There you go.
Give away our next episode, hopefully from the set. We'll have a lot of stuff to give away, so you're not going to want to miss next week's show at all. Day after
I feel like we'll be able to give away two of them, yeah. So, you know what? This is the perfect time to say this, Aaron. If you are not subscribed to this channel, this is the perfect time to subscribe to us, because I guarantee you the winner of whatever jersey giveaway that we end up doing is going to have to be subscribed in some way, shape, or form. Okay.
I have
what's this?
The Mike Greer bobblehead.
Ooh.
Half player, half GM bobblehead.
Okay.
This was from last season.
I like that.
Yeah, I got two of them. So maybe that'll be another giveaway.
Yeah, so we're looking for some opportunities to kind of give back a little bit, because again, things like Mikey J just said here. He says, Paul, you are a legend. I'm just trying to live up to the legend that people think that I am, and I'm trying to help with some giveaways here. So any opportunity we can do to help you guys out, 100% we are on board with that. Nick says he'll be there on Thursday. Nick likes meeting up with us for sure.
I'll be there. I'm sure I'll see you, Nick.
What's that?
Yeah, I said I'm sure I'll see you there, Nick. Scotty K a little while back said, I can't wear my polo now that it's winter in Toronto. I need some Fin Factor hoodies. Guess what? We have a Fin Factor hoodie in our store. Go to thefinfactor.com and you will find it under support the show. And I believe we do ship to Canada, correct? Super producer Jason, give me a
I believe that we do, yeah.
I think we've done it before. I think you clicked the wrong button there. There it is. Good. Yeah.
So yes, if you would like to go ahead and get a hoodie, we would appreciate it, obviously. So yeah, like Aaron just said, go to thefinfactor.com, check out anything that we have there. Of course, it does help support the show. There you go. Super producer Jason's got it. Nice black hoodie with a big logo right on the
Comes
front
in
there.
gray, comes in black, comes in white, I believe. Yeah. So choose your color.
Lots of different sizes there. Someone else had asked about the size of the jerseys. I believe they are all XL. The ones that that we have to give away.
I don't think they give us an option. I think you walk in and they hand it to you and they go, "Here's your jersey. What's the size?"
I feel like they have mediums, and the mediums end up going to kids, and the XLs are for the adults. But I don't know. Either way, the ones that I have are going to be XLs. So that's good. There you go. Okay. Well, someone's talking about Gregor. What about the Gregor tally? What is this?
You hear he's on the top line scoring some goals now?
Oh, is he?
You know how many goals he's up to? I think we're going to need a Noah Gregor goal watch.
All right. How many does he have?
They'll tell you in the stat, and then.
Oh, you don't know yet. You're looking at the chat.
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, okay. Well, while he's looking that up, the last game is Saturday in Vancouver, and we've already played them a couple times this season so far. Aaron, I don't know. How do you think that the game against Vancouver in Vancouver is going to go for the San Jose Sharks?
Vancouver has been a pretty hot team, so I don't think that's going to go very well. But it didn't go well the last time they came into town. So I think they'll probably lose the Vancouver one. So
you don't think we're getting out of here in any of these games, huh?
Well, I think they could take the Coyotes and possibly the Kings. So
that's kind of where I'm at.
3. Yeah.
I don't think we'll end up taking the Kings, but I feel like the Coyotes, we've got a little unfinished business with those 2 disallowed goals from earlier last week.
You know, Vancouver could be, because they're at home and it's the game right before they go on their break for Christmas with their families. They could be already checked out. You know, it's like your last day of work before you go on a long vacation. Whereas the Sharks are on the road. So it's one last work thing to do before you go home. It's a little different mindset, if you will. So I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say the Sharks are going to beat Vancouver.
There you go. Shollstradamus, hashtag it. Let's go. Right. Okay, so the next...
any guesses? Any guesses on the Noah Gregor goal total right now?
Oh, what is it?
Any guesses?
Oh, I have to guess? 6.
5.
See?
But
underperforming.
They've only played 28 games.
Yeah. Hey, man, so you know what? Good for him. I'm happy for him. Absolutely.
Of course.
However, he's playing on the top line in Toronto.
It's a 15-goal pace, my friend.
He's playing on the top line in Toronto.
He was because of injuries.
Oh, okay. So I'm saying is if you're playing with players that make you better, you're probably going to be better. You put him back where he belongs. What's your favorite phrase, Aaron?
To beat off walls.
Oh, not that. Market correction.
Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah. On that note, so wait. Next Tuesday is the next show, right? So the next show will be Tuesday after Christmas.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Not Monday night. Not Christmas night.
We will see you guys on the Tuesday after Christmas, not Monday, which would be Christmas itself. We love you, but just not that much. And I don't think you guys like us that much either. I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. I know Mikey J likes me. And who is the other one here? Oh, I feel bad because Zephyr appreciated me. So there you go. Noah makes other players better. Peter St. John, you log out right now. Okay. You're going to come at me with that. My goodness. All right. Aaron, any last thing you want to say, promote, or talk about, or whatever? Anything in the chat that you want to say?
Nope. Just have a fun and safe holiday coming up this weekend, and hopefully we'll see you next week from the set, which would be fantastic, assuming we can get all of it put together. I think we can do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. The new set for, we're hoping again, everything is there. It will be a Christmas miracle. Why you say that, Super Producer Jason? Come on, man. Everything, like I said, it's all there. It's all more or less put together already too. It's literally just that Super Producer Jason is a perfectionist and does not want to give you a product unworthy of super producer Jason. So
We just stunk.
no, and I can get behind that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So it'll be ready as soon as it's 100% perfect according to super producer Jason's standards. Where is the airing of grievances? Paul and Aaron. Festivus, yes, happy Festivus, whatever it is that you're celebrating over this holiday season. We hope that it goes well for you and yours. Santa's bringing you a set for Christmas. Yeah, we hope so. I don't know if it's going to fit on that sleigh. It's a pretty big set, buddy. There's a whole lot of walls going on there.
Very big and heavy set. The thing was not light.
It's very strongly built. It can the desk is amazing. I honestly, guys, I know we've kind of it's been a little bit of a running joke, but we're so excited to get this thing going for you guys. There was a whole lot of work that went into it, and it's just one of those things that we just cannot wait to share with you guys. Festivus for the rest of us. Thank you, Grandizer 12. Yes, absolutely. To all of you guys, we wish you a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Festivus, happy Hanukkah, happy whatever it is. Just be happy. Okay, so there you go. I appreciate you guys. Merry Christmas to you and your families. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. And Grandizer wants the feats of strength too. Yes, you are a Seinfeld encyclopedia of knowledge, my friend. Well done, guys. It's been fun. It's been real. Thank you so much for inquiring about the stuff that's the hoodies and whatnot, letting everybody know where to go and get that to support the show. And thanks again for all the comments. It's been a blast. I've enjoyed it. And again, I wish you guys all the best in this holiday season. So on that note, for super producer Jason, I'm Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
And we will see you guys
next week.
Next week on Tuesday, probably from the set again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, check out our other content, especially interviews. You can interact with us directly through social media at The Fin Factor and on Instagram at Fin Factor. And don't forget to join our live streams on YouTube.
Visit our website at thefinfactor.com, where you'll find all of our episodes as videos or podcasts. You'll also find our exclusive merchandise to help support our show.